Okay, now that we've got the entire piece dry brushed with the terracotta, we're going to put on our white antiquing. That has to move pretty quick because it dries fast, and we don't want any hard lines created from our leading edge while we're painting. So we're going to move right along here. This antiquing is something I make here in the shop. It's a lot like a glaze, I suppose, when you do full finishing, and, like say sponge painting and such. We're going to keep it all wet as we work it here. Get it down in our low spots. Put some tape on my brush here to keep the metal edge from hitting our piece and ruining our finish. I move so fast, it's easy to make a mistake like that. And take a non-patterned paper towel. Patterns sometimes leave funny marks behind. It's darkened our finish a little bit too here. A lot more red, so we're going to come back and we'll dry brush it another time yet to adjust our color one final time. Sometimes 2 times, maybe 3, but usually just 1 if I get the mix right. Like I was saying earlier, color's kind of weird. You start getting more than 2 or 3 colors together. Light and color have a tendency to work together in weird ways, and I got a couple of different sized brushes here, once again for getting down in the tight spots. I think just a plain dry brush too helps even out the darker spots. When the paint's heavy, you can push it into the other spot, dry spots too, so it's just, this antiquing color is derivative of this red too. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier or not, but it's got just a little bit of that terracotta red in it, and off-white to get it to tie itself together. Our main goal here is to make it look like it wasn't painted. It was naturally occurring process with the terracotta, which is a type of clay. There we've got our hot spots down, the crevices there, so we're going to come back with a clean brush again. Just take it out of there and lighten it up a little bit before it dries. Now, it seems probably pretty chaotic right here with all the different colors going on, but we'll do that other dry brushing step, and it'll all come together. Once you start doing a piece like this, you start to appreciate the sculptor's work and getting all the proportions right, getting all the clothing and the wrinkles and every little thing. You don't notice the depth so much with your eye. When you start putting paint on it and you have to get it down in those spots, you start to realize the depth and the work that went into doing the original sculpture. The other thing too here, we have to make sure we do get all those deep crevices, because if we leave a dark spot down there on the bottom, the whole illusion of the aging process is going to be lost. It's going to look fake. Definitely helps too to look at it from different angles. I did the other colors off camera. We flip the piece upside down and get all different kinds of angles of view on it, so you can make sure you get those areas you don't normally see. As I was saying earlier, when you finish a piece like this, you sure notice a lot more of the details and the curves and all those things, because you're actually finishing the piece. As I come around on the back of this piece, I noticed that the pedestal that she sits on here, the bottom of the base, is rough and looks not perfect. Most of our busts that we have of other people like presidents and say Albert Einstein or authors and stuff, poets, it's all perfect and like proper. And this one is imperfect, and I have to imagine wonder rather if the sculptor originally had wanted it to look imperfect, maybe to look like her, or maybe she had an imperfect life. Also, the way it cuts back here too, it looks like part of her back is missing. You don't see the shoulders and stuff come around, and I wonder too if that's not trying to show that maybe she's been abused or whipped or something to that effect. But it sure is different back here. I mean, as far as that deep undercut, and again, it's kind of imperfect. There's no form here that's identifiable. Anyway, I'm just sharing that with you. It's kind of a personal opinion, but anyway, art's that way. It's kind of a personal thing, and everybody interprets it a little differently. That's what makes art so wonderful. All right, after we got our white antiquing put on, it kind of looks chaotic right now. We've got a lot of different stuff going on. Kind of looks like a mess. But this next step here, we will bring everything together. It'll straighten up pretty good. I did change the color of red after looking at the photo from the museum. It is a little bit lighter, more yellow in it as well. So we can make that change right now. And hopefully, after this color, we'll be really close to where we need to be. We're going to do the same thing as we did with the first color of red. The first dry brushing red. This is actually our third red now. Kind of spread it out here and there so we don't get hot spots. I'll start on the highest spots too and work my way back towards the lower spots. When we get into the lower spots, I'll put more pressure on. It's going to be alright too that some of this darker red shows through. It is not a monotone color the way it originally appears either. There's lots of different shades of that terracotta coming through. So actually the more colors we have, the more realistic it looks. We can even put on a third and a fourth shade of this terracotta color and produce. Okay, so we keep working our way around here. Keep changing brush sizes to get into some of these deeper undercuts. Kind of tougher to get into. We have various sizes of brushes to get in there. I twist the brush too a little bit. Keeps it from blotting and looks a little more natural. Like we did before too, if we get too much we can spread it out. Or if we have brush strokes we don't want to see.